Hello guys, welcome to my channel Medic Maniac, and today I am here with a topic on clinical anatomy of brachial plexus. If you have not checked my previous video on brachial plexus, then just go and check it out. Ops paralysis. Yes, so guys, today we are going to focus on two main topics, that is ops paralysis and Klumpke's paralysis, which occurs due to injury on brachial plexus. So let's first see ops paralysis. Site of injury. The site of injury is ops point. So now guys, what is ops point? So ops point is a region on upper trunk of brachial plexus where six nerves meet. Six nerves meet मीन्स C5 एंड C6 का जो रूट है वो जो कंबाइन होके आगे जो ट्रंक बनाता है वो, एंड द सुप्रास्केपुलर नर्व एंड नर्व टू सबक्लेवियस जो वहाँ से इमर्ज होती है वो, तो इट्स टोटल गोइंग टू बी 6 नर्व्स. So guys, as you are seeing here the diagram, the round circle is showing ops point. Causes of injury. So what are the causes of injury? It is simple. Undue separation of head from the shoulder, and which occurs due to and during birth injury, that is difficult childbirth, fall on shoulder, and also during anesthesia. Yes, during anesthesia, the anesthetic is giving injections in brachial plexus or nearby regions to paralyze the upper arm and around areas for operation and all that things. So during that time, if something got wrong and that injection got something in wrong place, so it will ultimately injure the brachial plexus. So which nerve roots are mainly involved? The mainly nerve roots involved are C5 and partly C6. Yes guys, C5 and C6 combines to form the upper trunk, so it's easy, means yeah, it's normal to understand that yes, it's going to include mainly C5 and partly C6. Okay, so you are seeing the picture of difficult childbirth leading to a brachial plexus injury. Okay, so which muscles are paralyzed? Mainly biceps brachii, deltoid, brachialis and brachioradialis, and partly supraspinatus, infraspinatus and supinator. So these all are muscles which are supplied by the nerves emerging from the upper trunk of the brachial plexus, or the nerves which are forming from upper trunk, and that from C5 and C6 roots, which have their root value C5 and C6. Okay, so deformity and position of limb. So if any person is suffering from ops paralysis, then how could you get it? Means how could you find that this person is suffering from ops paralysis? So it's simple. You just have to show his position of limbs. So his arm is hanged by side. Definitely the muscles are paralyzed, so he is not able to lift his arm. It is adducted and medially rotated. Okay, and forearm is extended and pronated, and it ultimately gives a look like policeman's tips end or waiter's tips end. Means policeman's tips end means not policeman, anybody who takes bribe can make that type of hands. Okay, so you are seeing here the ops palsy. The child is suffering from ops paralysis, and here it is written that forward rotated shoulder, अपर आर्म रेडनेस होगी उसमें डेफिनेटली, क्योंकि मसल पैरालाइज्ड होंगे तो वो थोड़ी जो चीज़ें होती है पैरालिसिस की, कि कैसे कैसे कुछ चेंजेस आते हैं, वो हमें देखने को मिलेगी. आफ्टर दैट मसल एट्रोफी एंड डिमिनिश्ड आर्म लेंथ, मसल एट्रोफाइड हो जाएंगे डेफिनेटली, वहाँ पे नर्व सप्लाई नहीं होगी तो मसल्स एट्रोफी होगी. उसके बाद यस, वेटर टिप्स डिफॉर्मिटी ऑफ रिस्ट, and here it is written that damage of C5 and C6 nerve root. The other picture you are seeing is of bird whinging or a whinging of scapula, which we'll see in this video only later. Okay, so what are the disabilities? Okay guys, so it is very easy to remember disabilities, because if you are, like, say, if you are extending your arm to take something, then at the same time, how could you put your arm in the flexed condition? Are you getting my point? So here, look, 1 second. Okay, so here we have seen the deformities. So as you are seeing the arm and forearm of this affected children. So guys, what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to explain you all, that the disabilities are totally opposite of the deformities. Okay, so there we have seen, in deformity we have seen adduction and medial rotation of arm. So in disabilities it is totally opposite. Here we have abduction and lateral rotation of arm at shoulder joint. Here we have flexion and supination of forearm. There we have extension and pronation of forearm. Okay, so it's very easy. If you just remember any one of this disability of deformity, you will get easy to cover both of them. So other point we have is biceps and supinator jerks are lost. Definitely supinator and biceps are paralyzed, then how can be they jerked out? Sensations are lost over small area of lower part of deltoid also. And as we have seen in this picture, there is upper arm redness. Upper arm redness means upper arm matlab kya? The part of the muscle representing the deltoid. Okay guys, so we have completed Erb's paralysis. Now let's see the Klumpke's paralysis. So what is the site of injury? The site of injury is lower trunk of brachial plexus, and causes are abduction of arm, as in clutching something with the hands after a fall from height, or something in birth injury. Okay guys, so anyone who falls from height and he gets something to hold it, then definitely he just hold it, but at that time his arm, his upper limb is totally abducted. The arm is totally overhead abducted. So by this he will get a stretch in his arms, and which will lead to the injury of lower trunk of brachial plexus. So which nerve roots are involved? So we have mainly T1 and partly C8. Okay, in Erb's paralysis we have mainly C5 and partly C6. Here we have mainly T1 and partly C8. So some things between Erb's and Klumpke's paralysis are similar, not similar, but it's totally opposite, so you can get it out. Okay, muscle paralyzed. The muscle which are paralyzed are intrinsic muscle of hand, that is supplied by T1, and ulnar flexors of wrist and fingers. Yeah, so it is, means it's devastating actually. Intrinsic muscle of hand when get paralyzed, then most of our works are going to be done by intrinsic muscles of hand. So yeah, it's dangerous. Okay, so let's say deformity and position of hand. Okay, so guys, we have just seen that there is deformity and paralysis in intrinsic muscles of hand. Then definitely the intrinsic muscles of hand got paralyzed, therefore ultimately the hand is got somewhat problem. Okay, so here we have claw hand. Due to unopposed action of long flexors and extensors of finger. So how it could look like? Claw hand will look like there is hyperextension at metacarpophalangeal joints, that is between metacarpals and phalanges, and flexion at the interphalangeal joints. And disability is complete claw hand. Oh, so we also have the incomplete claw hand, but it is not related to this Klumpke's paralysis, so we will see it in other videos which I am going to make it out. Okay, so as we have seen previous the photo of a child, child only, but we have seen his back, in which there is written that whinging of scapula. So it ultimately happens due to injury to nerve to serratus anterior, and it occurs due to sudden pressure on shoulder and carry heavy loads on shoulder. So deformity, as we have seen and as I have told, that whinging of scapula. So what is whinging of scapula? It's simple. It's just a prominence of medial border of scapula. we have two borders of scapula, lateral and medial border, as this muscle keeps the medial border against thoracic wall. So guys, as you know, and if you learnt serratus anterior muscle, then you all know that serratus anterior muscle got inserted into the costal surface of scapula on the medial side. So whenever this muscle is got pulled or pushed, there will be change, there will be somewhat change in that medial border of serratus anterior. And what are the disabilities? The disabilities are loss of pushing and punching. Attempt of pushing and punching leads to whinging of scapula. So guys, you can also try right now. Just punch your hand in the air. You will see that your scapula is drawn forward. Okay. So whenever this muscle, so whenever this muscle got paralyzed, there will be loss of punching and pushing muscle actions. So by this you can get that this muscles helps in pushing and punching, ultimately which leads scapula to a forward movement. Okay, so by this we complete our video on clinical anatomy of brachial plexus. So thanks for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe. I will be back with some interesting, some more medic videos. So stay online. Okay guys, you have to study, okay? So don't stay online, just stay online for watching the medical videos with this maniac, okay? So till then, stay happy, study smart, goodbye.